Hello guys, welcome to the second part of this tutorial. In this part we are going to show you how to make your game react to your, for example, touches. And when you press this, for example, arrows, we are going to be informed. And we are going to use new input system that Unity provide. In the older version we used function update, and we constantly checking if the player touching or pressing anything. But the problem was it was CPU consuming. This new system is event driven base, and it is in the newer version of Unity. If you use Unity 6, it is actually there. And most of the time, like this, you have input system in your project from the first. If you don't have, you can come here in your project tab, create, and in the button you should see input actions. Okay. I'm going to just start, and we are going to open our input action. There are too many things here. We are not going to touch anything. There is action maps, actions, action properties, and bindings. Okay, what are these? Action maps are like the maps that your game are going to use to see what happened. For example, your player can check the map from his map, for example, player map, UI for your UIs. And for example, you have second player, you want to have another map for it, so you can use another map and add it. Actions have types. For example, you have pass through, you have button, you have value. In this project we are just going to use value and button, not pass through. But you can think about, for example, button that we are going to use is like everything that can click or be pressed is a button action type. For example, your mouse, your pen, your keyboard, your touch screen. And everything that can give you value, for example, where did you press on the screen, it is the value type. And you have bindings. Bindings are the things that are going to pass those values. For example, the click of your mouse is the bindings of this action, button action, for example. This is not button, but you get what I say. We are going to add touch map, touch map, and we are going to have actions for primary, contact, and another one for primary position. Why primary? Because, for example, in later episode we are going to teach you how to zoom or unzoom with pinching, and it requires two action of your fingers. So one for primary and the second one is for your secondary touch. The position type should be value, because your screen is sending a position and that it gives from your touch, and because your screen is 2D, the control type is vector 2. Okay, we are going at bindings for it. For example, if we want our game for Android or iOS, we are going to use touchscreen and press. And because we are making this game on computer for testing, we should add mouse and press as well. And for position, we go touch screen, position, and add binding, mouse, and position. Okay, if you didn't save this, you see the star here and you cannot work with it, so you should save your asset with Command S or Control S or this button. We save it, we close this, and if we want to use this input system in our game with the script, one of the things that we should do is generate a C# class so we can generate object from it. Do not change this if you do not know what are they, and click apply. Okay, now we should have the script here. Do not worry, it's complicated, but it's not. Most of them are comment, and we are not going to work with this. We are going to have game object in our scene that manage our inputs, input manager, and we are going to have our script. And add another script to it, mono behavior script, and call it input manager. Okay, why we used mono behavior script? I'm just going to teach you right now, because mono behavior is a parent script that Unity have for game objects, and it is a C# script that Unity write before. When you extend your class from this mono behavior, you can add it to your game object, you can have the update or start, you can have too many functions that Unity provide to you. You can have class in your game without extended from mono behavior, but if you do so, for example, if I do that, I cannot add this to my game object. And a start and update are not the start and update that we had. This is a new function with the name of a start and update. If I just extend it from the parent, mono behavior parent, what happens is I can add it to my game objects. Okay. Now, we are not going to use update because the reason I said in the early of the episode, and we are not going to use a start because I want my input manager to activate it before everything in my game. So what happens before a start in the game? All the awake function that you have. So we are going to use awake. What? Awake. Okay, I'm just called private awake. And okay, we have input asset or input system actions. It is the name of the class that we created here. It is input actions, system actions, and call input action and make a new object out of it. Input actions called equal new. You can create a new object out of your class like this, or in older way you should write this as well. Both are fine. And now we are going to add input action dot touch map that we have. Touch map actions. No. Okay. The problem is this: input action dot touch map dot what we had, primary touch, primary contact dot, we have three stage: started, performed, and released, I think. No, cancelled. Yeah. When you, for example, press something, the first thing that happen is your press started. When the timing of the performed finished and you still touch the screen, you actually going to activate the performed. And when you release your finger, for example, from your script, from your touch screen or your mouse, the cancelled is going to happen. Okay, we have performed, and we are going to plus equal some function to it. Why? Because this event-driven base event is like a pointer that stores a list of your functions, and when some actions happen and this event fires, it comes in the list and just do all the functions in the list that you had. For example, we are going to add function to this, for example, called private void, and what we call it, we can call it primary contact, as for example down, primary contact down, down, and we can have multiple function, for example another one down 2, and we can add all of them to this input action, and it is a list. It's going through all the function that it has and run every one of them one by one. But there is another problem. We cannot add it manually to this. It gives you problem because your function should have get callback context. What is a callback context? It's advanced. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but callback context, and I'm calling it ctx, for example, and primary contact down, and you should pass your function like this, not like this. Okay, now the function can activate, but there's a better way, in my opinion, to pass these functions if you forget to give this as a to take this as your input of your function, and it is like a lambda version, ctx, and this, and now nothing different, but it's easier to read, in my opinion. Okay, and for release dot cancelled, I'm just going to have another version, up, and just to show you, we are going to have boolean is pressed equals to false, in the start, and when the primary contact down is pressed equals to true, and is pressed is equal to false again. And I'm just going to log them so we can see it in the game. Log is pressed, is pressed equal to is pressed. Okay, what did I do? When you want to make a log messages, you should pass strings. I think you know that. There is too many ways to do this. For example, you can do this one, and I'm just going to show you the easier way. Plus is pressed dot to string. In this one, you are going to do concatenation, and concatenation is a little bit memory and CPU consuming. This version is better. You just add a dollar before your string, and when you want to pass a value of something into your string, you just going to open a bracket. But it does not important in the normal game. You can use any of them. Okay, here and one here. Okay, now I think we can test this. Okay, if we add this script, no, this not this one, input manager that we had to our game object, and save the scene and play. Let's play it. Okay, now if we touch, nothing happened. Wow, what did I do wrong? Let's debug this and see what was wrong. Oh, okay, cancel should happen primary contact out first, and we should have on enable and on disable. Disable. What? On disable. Okay. If you do not write any private or, for example, protected or public before your functions, they all treated as private. So it does not important if I write this or not, but it's better if we knew before. But everyone knows unenable and undisable or action or awake is private, so you cannot just use for them. And input action dot enabled equals to true, or I don't enable. Yeah, and input action dot disabled. Okay, I think now it should work. Let's try. Yes, finally. Okay, when you see it clearly when I press the mouse button, express is equal to true, and when I release it, express is equal to false. And most importantly, let's try another thing. Okay, now we are going to stop this episode here, and in the next episode we are going to make our touch activate when only we touch on our arrows, not on everything in the screen. Now, right now, if I if I touch in the background or on the screen or on the arrows, it just prints this one. You can see it clearly. Okay, thank you for watching. I see you in the next episode.